What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another vintage mint on card Star Wars market update. We've got some really nice mint on cards that sold here on eBay recently. Everything from a 12 back to some 20 and 21 backs. We've got a few ESBs, some Palitoy Tri-Logos, some Return of the Jedi, Power of the Force. I literally scanned everything that I could find over the last few days, and I found lots of really nice items. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dig right in. The first one is the 12 back C Princess Leia Organa. This one was a punched example with a price tag in the upper left hand corner, and it did have a pretty pronounced crease going from left to right, as you can see there. It starts in the kind of upper left hand corner and goes through the Star Wars logo, but I would say this is probably overall a 75 grade. The blister was in great shape. The figure looked to be pretty good. Looks like it might have some modeling or something going on the figure. I would guess it's probably a 75, 80, 75 for the grades. And so this is something we talk about a lot, that even inside the blister, these white figures can discolor and degrade over time. And I think we're going to find that happening more and more as we all get older and as these vintage beautiful gems get older. But this 12 back C still sold for $1,222 plus $8 shipping on 38 bids. This closed on February 6th. Next up was a 20 back Death Star droid. This is a tough one to find, and nice clear blister on this one. It was not graded, but it looked to be in really fantastic condition. Probably overall an 80, just some light edge wear here and there. It was a punched example with no price sticker. This was over in Europe. Back of the card looks great. So this one does not have Boba Fett on there, and is a beautiful 20 back crystal clear blister that was in great shape. This one sold for almost 1,300 euros, which equates to about 1,385 US dollars plus shipping. But what a gorgeous gem for a Death Star droid. Next up was a 21 back B Snaggletooth. This one was graded AFA 80. The subgrades were 85, 80, 85, but a beautiful 21 back B. Red Snags, and this was unpunched with no price sticker. That one sold for big money, too. I was a little surprised by that sales price, but I guess nothing should surprise me with these early card backs. They are just continuing to climb in price without any kind of slowdown whatsoever, and this one was certainly an excellent example. $1,480 took that one home. This one was over in Japan, so really nice item, though, and big sales price. This one was a 21 back Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett, ungraded, but this is a tough to find transition card, and it was unpunched with a price sticker. A little bit of creasing in the upper left-hand corner, as you can see there, but what a gem. This is certainly a high-demand item. You can also see some creases in the lower right-hand corner below the free Secret Star Wars action figure offer, so this is a transition card for the Empire Strikes Back line of figures. This one sold for big money, $2,550 plus $22 shipping. As you'd expect, I mean, this is a Boba Fett on a transition ESB card back. You're going to be paying big money, clear blister, but certainly an excellent example. Next up, this one was a 31 back Leia Organa in her Bespin gown, and this one did have some slight wear around the hang tab, as you can see, some creases and things like that. Probably an overall 70 or maybe a low-end 75 grade. It was punched with a price sticker, but nice crystal clear blister and a nice budget item. I mean, you know, for the debut card for Leia on the 31A, $425. I mean, that's a good price just given the defects of the card, given that in high grade, these can sell easily for double that price, if not higher, if it's already been graded. So pretty good buy there, in my opinion, if you can live with some of the card defects. Next up was a yellowed blister 47 back 4-lam offer ESB Jawa. This one did have a Toys R Us price sticker and was punched, but as you can see there, it's got the archival case. 80, 75, 80 were the subscores on that one, so just some dings and things like that on the blister. Very lightly yellowed, not terrible, but it did have some card wave going on with it. That one sold in an auction for $540, and I've seen this one sell recently. That was an AFA 80 clear blister that sold for almost $800. So this one was appropriately discounted, just given that it did have some slight yellowing to the blister, as well as some card defects and some blister defects. This one was a 48 back Star Destroyer Commander yellowed blister. It's got that free Revenge of the Jedi offer sticker, and this one was a unpunched example with no price sticker. Overall 80 grade, again, very slightly yellowed blister. That one sold for $310. I thought that was a good buy. Really good price there for the Star Destroyer Commander, if you can live with a slight yellowing to the blister. I thought this one was a pretty good buy as well. This one was a 79 back Princess Leia Organa in her Boushh disguise. This one was a punched example with a price sticker, but it was really clean. I mean, it obviously was yellowed. We documented one on the channel here recently that was almost in similar condition, but was slightly less yellowed on the blister, that sold for the exact same price, $250. So I think given the condition of this one, it was probably an overall 80 grade pretty easily. Just one little ding there in the lower left-hand corner on the back of the card, but this one's got the Anakin offer sticker, and this one sold for $250 plus $10 shipping. So right in line with the last sale. That was a buy it now situation of $250. Same seller also had Lumat, last 17 figure on that Anakin 79 back, and this one sold for $197.50. Really good buy on this one. I feel like it was in great shape overall. Nice crystal clear blister, as you'd expect for the Lili Ledy Made in Mexico card backs for Lumat, and $197.50 I think is a great price. Also the Paploo, another Made in Mexico 79 back with the Anakin offer, crystal clear blister, probably at overall an 80 grade. That one sold for $147 and change, $10 shipping. Here's the back of the card. It may not hit the 80 grade just because of some problems on the back of the card. It had some discoloration towards the hang tab, and just some light wear here and there, so maybe a 75 plus, and probably why the price was down a little bit. Usually for a Paploo in kind of 80 grade condition that's punched with a price sticker, you might get closer to $200 for one in better shape. So I think $147.50 for that one was probably appropriately discounted. Now I wanted to focus on this one. So this is one that I bought at Hakes, and this one also did sell in the big Morphe's Find auction here recently at the beginning of February. So this is the 65 back Biker Scout. Again, it's a punched example, clear blister, and overall probably easily 80 grade condition. And now I want to give some more data points here. So again, I bought this one at Hakes for about $370, it might have been $350, somewhere in that ballpark. It scored an 80 with collector archive services. And I paid, again, around $350, $375. This one, as you see, sold at an auction for $445. But then let's go back to the Morphe's Find auction, where one in the same condition, ungraded, sold for $900. So that just shows you how far outside of market value a lot of those sales at Morphe's was. And again, I'm not trying to criticize anyone if they happen to pay that, but in my opinion, that was a drastic overpay. And now I've got two more data points that support that. Obviously, my Hakes purchase that I paid a little under, I want to say it was $350 to $375. I probably should have looked it up before I started this video, but I did not. And then this one sold for $445 plus $15 shipping. So again, the Morphe's auction price was just crazy. I mean, it was a good solid double what this one sold for in the same condition, and more than double what I paid for mine. Almost triple what I paid for mine. So next up was the Gamorrean Guard 65 back. I thought this was a great pickup. Somebody snagged this one in a stealth buy. It was listed for $275, and I knew it was going to sell. It actually sold best offer accepted $225, which if you follow Gamorrean Guard mint on cards, especially these US cards, they are very, very difficult to find in this kind of condition. And I take it back. This is not a US card. This is actually the Lili Ledy Made in Mexico. So that explains why it's a clear blister. I didn't look at it closely when I added it to my watch list, but now it makes sense why this one was a clear blister. So somebody got a really good deal though, because this one would easily grade an 80 or maybe even an 80 plus. And to get that for $225 plus $15 shipping for a Lili Ledy Gamorrean Guard clear blister made in Mexico for the U.S. market, that is a great buy. Absolutely steal of a deal, in my opinion. And I think that would grade all day long at an 80. Next up was another Gamorrean Guard. This one is the start of the Tri-Logos that I wanted to cover. This one sat on the market for a little while. It's a Palitoy 70B Tri-Logo, and it was listed for $300 free shipping. And I was a little surprised it didn't sell sooner, but, it just had some very slight dings to the blister, but overall in great shape. Outside chance at a low 80 grade, I think. I mean, you can see the back of the card was in great shape. It did have a little tear there in the lower right-hand corner, which might preclude it from getting an 80. Also, the card did have a slight spider vein coming off of the right-hand side of the punch tab. But, 75 plus or a low 80 for this one with the KB toy sticker punched example. Really nice condition to that blister given how fragile those are. And that one did sell for $300 finally, but I thought that was a great pickup. Next up was a Reese Tri-Logo, and this one also has the KB Toys price sticker. A lot of these Tri-Logos made it over here to the U.S. market, and they were kind of discounted, 2 for $1. What a time to be collecting back then if you were able to do it. But this blister was in fantastic condition, probably overall an 80 or 80 plus condition, and that one sold in an auction for $180 plus $11.75 shipping. I thought that was a really good pickup as well. Next up was a Ben Kenobi Tri-Logo. This one sold for $311. The blister was, it had some pretty significant dings to it. Probably overall a 75 would be my guess. But significant dings in the lower portions of the blister. It also was kind of punched in on, or beaten in on the front of the blister. So I would say at best probably a 75. If the grader is feeling generous. But $311 is not a bad price. I mean, in high grade, I've seen these go for double that price. So if you can live with those defects to the blister, I think that was a pretty good pickup. Now let's dig into some Power of the Force figures. This was a UKG yellowed 85 Ramba, unpunched, no price sticker. That one sold at an auction for $272. I thought that was a really great buy. It was actually not a UKG graded. It was AFA graded. AFA 85. 80, 85, 85 were the sub scores. So for an AFA 85, last 17 unpunched with just very moderate yellowing to the blister, I thought that was a great pickup. 272.63 took that home. AFA 85 EV99, that one sold for $672 in US dollars, or about 560 Great British pounds plus shipping. Again, it was unpunched, no price sticker with, I would say, moderately, yellowed blister, but again, it's a high grade, and I think it would sell for this price all day long, if not higher, if it was at auction on Hakes or something like that. It did have a little bit of wave to the card, which can be a problem, but that's a pretty nice example. AFA 85, last 17, EV99, mint on card for that price. I think it's pretty good. Next up was a yellowed 90 AFA Jawa on the Power of the Force card back. The sub scores were 90, 90, 90. So that's a very, very high grade. Fairly yellowed blister, but again, unpunched, no price sticker. And the price reflected that, $852 for an AFA 90. That's a tough one to find in that high of a grade. So I think that was a pretty good buy if you can live with, the yellowing. But I mean, For you Power of the Force collectors, I guess you just get used to the yellowing, because I would say that it seems like 85 to 90% of them are going to be yellowed, but that's still a really nice item and very high grade. And then this price shocked me. This one was the Power of the Force last 17 Luke Stormtrooper, and this one was a punched example, again with yellowing, but it was ungraded. An ungraded example sold for $2,650. I was expecting kind of $1,800 to $2,000, but it just seems like Luke Skywalker in his Stormtrooper disguise that's mint on card. And admittedly, it was high grade. It's probably an 80 all day long. But, man, that price really shocked me. $2,650. That is just an incredible final sales price for an ungraded example. I mean, I could see like an AFA 85 with a yellowed blister going for that. But, man, somebody really wanted that one, and it got into a bidding war. But that's certainly the highest price I've seen recently for an ungraded Luke Stormtrooper on the Power of the Force last 17 card. Here was one that was pointed out to me by the Blacked Out Ewoks, a fellow YouTuber. This one was an unpunched Ewoks card, clear blister, at least clear-ish. It might have yellowed a little bit since, it looks like it's yellowed a little bit since grading, but it was a UKG 85%, 85, 90, 95 were the sub-scores on that one. But still, even though it's yellowed slightly since grading, that's a gorgeous example of the Duloc Scout, and that one did sell for pretty good money too, 338 pounds or 405 US dollars plus shipping. But a really nice example, and that does happen sometimes with Power of the Force, with a lot of the US release Return of the Jedi card backs, with the Ewoks and Droids cards, where after grading those blisters turn yellow, and that seems to be the case on that one. But still, that's a really nice item, very, very high grade. Finally, I got one boxed item. This was a mint and seal box speeder bike. This is what I had in my what to buy video last week, and this one did sell. It was listed for $200, and it did sell very quickly after I made that video. So what was unique about this one is that the top flap on the packaging was not folded at all, and it looked to be in about 80 grade condition, maybe 80 plus. So I think that was a really good buy. $200 plus $10 shipping. Took that one home. So congratulations to whoever picked that up. I assume it was a Patreon supporter, since it sold before the video even went live, but after my Patreon supporters got the video with 24 hours early access. So thanks again so much for watching. That's all I really had. These prices just show you that there is no slowdown whatsoever in high-grade vintage mint-on card Kenner items. Just some of those prices, especially that Power of the Force Luke Stormtrooper, just absolutely mind-blowing. Thanks again, and I'll be back soon.